The silence begins, the first sign of trouble. Lena Rodriguez stared at her communication console with growing unease. For the past 6 hours, not a single message had arrived from Earth. The Nexus trade station, floating in the neutral zone between 3 major star systems, typically received hundreds of transmissions daily from humanity's homeworld. Business deals, family messages, news updates, scientific data. Earth never stopped talking. Alina brushed her dark hair away from her face and ran another diagnostic on her equipment. Everything appeared normal. The quantum communication arrays were functioning perfectly. Signal strength was optimal. Yet Earth remained silent. Computer, display Earth communication logs for the past 12 hours. She commanded. The holographic display materialized before her, showing a steady stream of incoming data that abruptly stopped at 1447 Galactic Standard Time. Not a gradual decline. Not technical difficulties, just complete silence. As if someone had severed every communication link simultaneously. Elena's stomach twisted. In her 15 years as a communications officer, she had never seen anything like this. Even during the solar storm crisis of 2387, some signals had managed to get through Earth's interference. The ripple effect 3 sectors away. Captain Thorne was having his own problems. The grizzled human trader had been waiting for confirmation of his cargo delivery to Lunar City for over 8 hours. His ship, the Wandering Star, hung motionless in space while he grew increasingly frustrated. Lunar Control, this is Captain Thorne requesting docking clearance. He transmitted for the 20th time. My cargo hold is full of medical supplies that your people ordered. Where is everyone? Only static answered him. Thorne scratched his grey beard and glanced at his navigation display. Earth's moon should have been buzzing with activity. Lunar City was the solar system's second largest trade hub, processing thousands of ships every day. But his sensors showed no traffic, no movement, no signs of life. This is getting ridiculous, he muttered, opening a channel to the nearest space station. Kepler Station, this is the Wandering Star. Are you receiving any signals from the Sol system? The response came immediately from a voice he didn't recognize. Wandering Star, this is Kepler Station. We've been trying to contact Earth for hours. Complete communication blackout. Are you experiencing the same? Affirmative, Kepler Station. Something's not right here. The galactic response news of Earth's silence spread through the galaxy's communication networks like wildfire. On the crystalline world of Zerion Prime, the tall, ethereal beings, known as the Luminari, gathered in their council of minds. Their leader, A, being called Resonance, spoke in harmonious tones that rippled through the assembled crowd. The human homeworld has ceased all communication, Resonance announced. This is unprecedented. In all our dealings with humanity, they have never remained silent for more than a few hours. On the industrial planet of Machinus, the robotic synthetics paused their endless construction to process this new information. Their collective consciousness, known as the core, calculated probabilities and outcomes at lightning speed. The conclusion was troubling. Something significant had happened to Earth in the depths of space. Aboard the massive bioship Living Dream, Dr. Keth Maron received the news with particular concern. The reptilian scientist had spent years studying human behavior and culture. His scaled fingers moved quickly across his biointerface as he accessed every database he could find. Fascinating and disturbing, he hissed to his research partner. A floating jellyfish-like creature named Pulse. Humans are the most communicative species in the galaxy. They broadcast constantly: entertainment, science, commerce, personal messages. This silence is completely contrary to their nature. The investigation begins. Commander Zara Voss was conducting routine patrol exercises when the emergency transmission reached her ship. The Stellar Dawn was a joint venture between human and alien technologies, crewed by representatives from 6 different species. As the message played, her mixed crew gathered on the bridge with expressions of concern. All ships, this is Galactic Command. The transmission began. We have a code yellow situation. Earth and all human colonies in the Sol system have gone silent. Duration, 14 hours and counting. All available vessels are requested to investigate. Zara's second-in-command, an insectoid being named Chitex, clicked his mandibles nervously. Commander, in my species' recorded history, we have never seen a civilization go completely silent without cause. War, natural disaster, technological failure. There are always survivors, always some form of communication. Agreed, Zara replied, her jaw set with determination. Helm, set course for Earth. Maximum warp. As the stellar dawn jumped to faster than light. Travel, similar scenes played out across the galaxy. Ships from dozens of species changed course toward the Sol system. The Saurian Collective dispatched their fastest science vessels. The Galactic Commerce Guild sent heavily armed escorts. Even the reclusive Void. Walkers emerged from their distant territories to join the investigation. The fleet assembles within 24 hours. The largest multi-species fleet in galactic history had assembled at the edge of the Sol system. Over 300 ships from 47 different civilizations hung in space, their varied designs creating a spectacular display of galactic diversity. Admiral Nexus, the insectoid leader of the Commerce Guild, took command of the fleet from his flagship Prosperity's edge. His compound eyes surveyed the assembled vessels with a mixture of pride and anxiety. Citizens of the galaxy, he broadcast to all ships, we face an unprecedented situation. Humanity has been our partner in trade, exploration, and scientific advancement for over 2 centuries. Their sudden silence threatens not just their well-being, but the stability of our entire galactic community. Dr. Keth Moran, now serving as the fleet's chief scientist, added his own observations. Preliminary. Scans of the Sol system show no signs of warfare, no debris fields, no evidence of natural disasters. The planets appear intact, but we're detecting unusual energy signatures that don't match any known technology. Commander Zara Voss, representing the human ships in the fleet, felt a chill run down her spine. Admiral requests permission to take a small scouting group ahead of the main fleet. If something has happened to Earth, we need to know what we're dealing with. Granted, Commander. Take your ship and 5 others. The rest of us will maintain position here until we know more. The approach to Earth. The scouting group consisted of 6 ships. Zara's Stellar Dawn, Dr. Moron's bioship, Living Dream, 2 Commerce Guild vessels, a Luminari crystal ship, and a synthetic exploration craft. As they approached the inner solar system, their sensors began detecting increasingly strange readings. Commander called out Lieutenant Torres, the human navigation officer. I'm reading massive energy fluctuations throughout the system. It's like space itself is ... vibrating. Dr. Moron's voice crackled over the communication system. Confirmed. My biosensors are detecting patterns in the quantum foam that shouldn't exist. Something is actively manipulating the fabric of space-time in this region. As they passed Jupiter, the scouting group made a disturbing discovery. The gas giants, moons, normally buzzing with mining operations and research stations, were completely dark. No lights, no signals, no signs of the millions of humans who worked there. "This is impossible," whispered Alina Rodriguez, who had joined the scouting mission as a communications specialist. "Ganymede Station alone houses 2 million people. They can't all just disappear." But as they moved deeper into the solar system, the pattern repeated itself. Mars was silent. The asteroid belt mining operations had ceased. Even the small research outposts scattered throughout the system showed no signs of life. The energy shell when Earth finally came into view, the scouting group stopped dead in space. The planet appeared normal from a distance. The same blue oceans, green and brown continents, white clouds swirling in familiar patterns. But surrounding the entire planet was something that shouldn't exist. "By the core," whispered the synthetic ship's AI. "What is that?" A shimmering barrier of energy enveloped Earth, extending from the planet's surface to well beyond the moon's orbit. It pulsed with colors that seemed to shift between dimensions, creating patterns that hurt to look at directly. Commander Zara Voss stared at the phenomenon with a mixture of awe and fear. "It's beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Have we ever seen anything like this?" Dr. Moron's reply was grim. "Never. This technology is beyond anything in our databases. The energy requirements alone should be impossible for any known civilization." As the scouting group watched, the energy barrier pulsed rhythmically, like a heartbeat. With each pulse, waves of exotic radiation swept across the solar system, causing their instruments to flicker and their communications to fade momentarily. Commander Alina Rodriguez called out urgently, "I'm detecting something inside the barrier. It's faint, but there are definitely artificial structures on Earth's surface that weren't there before." The truth was becoming clear, though none of them wanted to accept it. Earth hadn't been destroyed or abandoned. It had been transformed into something else entirely, hidden behind a wall of energy that defied understanding. The message, as the scouting group prepared to return to the main fleet with their disturbing findings, something unexpected happened. The energy barrier around Earth suddenly flared brighter, and for a moment it became translucent. Through the barrier they could see Earth's surface clearly. What they saw made them gasp in shock. The planet was covered in massive structures, weapons, platforms, energy generators, and installations that stretched across entire continents. This wasn't the Earth they knew. This was a fortress. Then, breaking through the static and interference, came a transmission. It was weak, heavily encrypted, but unmistakably human in origin. "This is Earth Defense Command to approaching vessels," the voice said, calm and professional despite the circumstances. "We are aware of your presence. Maintain your current position and await further instructions. Be advised, the galaxy is in more danger than you know." The transmission cut off, leaving the scouting group in stunned silence. Earth wasn't lost. The humans were still there, still alive, but they had transformed their world into something unrecognizable, and they were warning of a danger that threatened the entire galaxy. As Commander Zara Voss ordered the scouting group to return to the main fleet, one question burned in everyone's mind. What could be so terrible that humanity would hide behind an energy barrier and turn their homeworld into a fortress? The answer, they would soon learn, would challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe and their place in it. The truth revealed that Revelational Nexus convened an emergency meeting aboard his flagship as soon as the scouting group returned. Representatives from every major species gathered in the massive conference chamber, their diverse forms creating a rainbow of galactic unity. The holographic display showed Earth's energy barrier pulsing ominously in the center of the room. The implications are staggering, Dr. Keth Moran reported, his reptilian voice carrying across the chamber. Humanity has somehow developed technology that surpasses our current understanding of physics. The energy barrier alone requires more power than most civilizations produce in a year. Commander Zara Voss stepped forward, her face grave. But that's not the most disturbing part. The message we received mentioned that the galaxy is in danger. If humans felt the need to turn Earth into a fortress, what exactly are they protecting us from? Before anyone could answer, the communication systems throughout the fleet crackled to life. A new transmission was coming through, this one much clearer than the previous message. "Attention, Galactic Fleet," a strong male voice announced. "This is General Marcus Stone, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Forces. We appreciate your concern for our well-being, but we need to speak immediately. The threat we've been preparing for is approaching faster than anticipated." Admiral Nexus activated. The fleet's response system. General Stone, this is Admiral Nexus of the Galactic Commerce Guild. The assembled fleet represents 47 different species. We demand an explanation for Earth's actions and this alleged threat. There was a pause before General Stone responded, and when he did, his voice carried a weight that made everyone in the chamber uncomfortable. "Admiral, what I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but I need you to listen carefully. 3 years ago, our deep space monitoring stations detected something approaching our galaxy from the void between galaxies. Something that shouldn't exist. The ancient enemy, the energy barrier around Earth, suddenly shifted, becoming completely transparent. For the first time in 2 days, the galactic fleet could see Earth clearly. What they saw defied belief. The planet's surface had been completely transformed. Massive weapon platforms covered every continent, their designs unlike anything in any galactic database. Energy conduits stretched between towering structures that seemed to bend space around them. The oceans themselves glowed with an inner light, as if the water had been replaced with liquid energy. "By the eternal light," whispered Resonance, the luminary leader. "How long have you been preparing for this?" General Stone's voice carried across the fleet with grim pride. 57 years. Ever since we discovered the beacon." A new voice joined the transmission, younger and more scientific. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen, head of the Xenobiology Institute. In 2385, our archaeological teams discovered an ancient artifact buried beneath the lunar surface. It contained a warning. Message from a civilization that died out over 1 million years ago." The holographic display in the conference chamber changed, showing the translation of the ancient message. As the alien representatives read it, their expressions turned to horror. "The collective comes from the space between realities," the message read. "They consume not just matter and energy, but the very fabric of existence itself. Where they pass, nothing remains, not even the possibility of existence. We failed to stop them. Our galaxy is lost. We send this warning to any who find it. Prepare, unite, or cease to exist." Dr. Moran's scales rippled with fear. "Space between realities, that's impossible. Nothing can exist in the quantum void." "We thought so too," Dr. Chen replied. "But 3 years ago, our monitoring stations detected spatial distortions at the edge of the galaxy. Something is definitely coming, and it's leaving complete nothingness in its wake." The human plan General Stone's image appeared on the main display, showing a middle-aged human with steel-grey hair and eyes that had seen too much. Behind him, the transformed Earth bustled with activity as humans and other beings worked together on projects that seemed to defy physics. For over half a century, we've been preparing for this moment, he explained. We've been developing weapons and defenses based on the ancient civilization's research, but we also knew that no single species could face this threat alone. Commander Zara Voss leaned forward. That's why you've been so active in galactic affairs, the cultural exchanges, the joint research projects, the trade agreements. You were recruiting allies. Precisely. We've been carefully selecting individuals from every species who showed the potential to understand and fight this threat. Many of you have colleagues and crew members who volunteered to join our preparation efforts, as if to prove his point. Several beings throughout the fleet began stepping forward. Admiral Nexus watched in shock as his own tactical officer, a crystalline being named Prism, activated a communication device. Admiral, Prism said, his voice filled with regret, I volunteered for the human program 15 years ago. My memories were temporarily altered so I could continue serving without compromising the mission. I'm truly sorry for the deception. Similar revelations occurred throughout the fleet. Trusted crew members, colleagues, and friends revealed themselves. As part of humanity's secret preparation, the scale of the infiltration was staggering, but it wasn't malicious, it was survival. Asterisk, asterisk. The approaching darkness, Dr. Chen's voice took on new urgency. We need to show you what we're facing. Long-range sensors display the galactic edge. The holographic display shifted to show the outer rim of the galaxy. What the assembled representatives saw made their blood run cold. Entire star systems were simply missing. Not destroyed, not collapsed. Gone as if they had never existed. The collective has been consuming our galaxy for the past 6 months, Dr. Chen explained. They move through space-time like an infection, erasing everything they touch. Our calculations show they'll reach the galactic core in approximately 18 months. 18 months, Admiral Nexus repeated, his compound eyes reflecting the horror of the situation. To prepare for an enemy that can erase existence itself. General Stone's expression remained grimly determined. That's why we've been working in secret. Panic would have destroyed galactic civilization long before the collective arrived. Instead, we used the time to build defenses and gather allies. The energy barrier around Earth began to pulse more rapidly, and sections of it started to fold inward like a blooming flower. As it opened, massive structures began emerging from the planet's surface. Ships that dwarfed anything in the galactic fleet. These are our deep strike vessels, General Stone announced. Each one is equipped with weapons designed to damage entities that exist partially outside normal space-time. But they're only effective if used in coordination with the combined fleets of all galactic species. The underground cities, as the barrier continued to open. The fleet got its first glimpse of what had really happened to Earth's population. Massive elevator platforms rose from the planet's surface, revealing vast underground cities that stretched for miles beneath the Earth. We didn't disappear, Dr. Chen explained. We relocated. The entire human population, plus volunteers from every species, are living in underground cities designed to survive even if the surface is completely destroyed. The scale was breathtaking. Billions of beings, humans, luminari, synthetics, saurians, and dozens of other species moved through. The underground spaces with purpose and coordination. They had been preparing for this war for decades. The surface installations are just the beginning, General Stone continued. We've turned Earth into the ultimate fortress, but it's not meant to hide behind. It's meant to be the command center for a galactic counterattack. The call to arms as the representatives of the galactic fleet watched in amazement, General Stone's expression became even more serious. We're not asking you to follow humanity's lead. We're asking you to join us as equals in the fight for all life in the galaxy. Admiral Nexus found his voice after long moments of stunned silence. General, the scale of what you've accomplished, it's beyond anything we imagined possible. But how do we know these weapons of yours can actually hurt something that exists outside normal space-time? Because we've tested them, Dr. Chen replied. 3 months ago, we detected a collective scout probe at the edge of the galaxy. Our prototype weapons were able to damage it, though not destroy it completely. We know they can be hurt, which means they can be defeated. The holographic display showed the recorded battle against the scout probe. The human weapons fired beams of twisted energy that seemed to fold space around their targets. When they hit the probe, it flickered between dimensions before retreating into the void. The key is unity, General Stone emphasized. Every species brings something unique to this fight. Luminari can manipulate light across multiple dimensions. Synthetics can process information at quantum speeds. Saurians understand biological adaptation in ways that could help us predict collective behavior. We need everyone. The conference chamber fell silent as the representatives processed everything they had learned. The scale of the threat was almost impossible to comprehend, but the human preparation was equally impressive. Commander Zara Voss was the first to speak. General Stone, Dr. Chen, on behalf of the human ships in this fleet, we volunteer to join your efforts. Immediately. Dr. Maron's voice hissed with determination. The Saurian collective agrees. We've spent centuries studying adaptation and survival. This is the ultimate test of those principles. One by one, the other representatives voiced their agreement. Even the normally neutral Voidwalkers committed their resources to the fight. Admiral Nexus looked around the chamber at the faces of beings who had been strangers just days ago, but were now united in purpose. It's unanimous, General. The Galactic Fleet joins your cause. What do you need us to do? The preparation over the following weeks, the space around Earth became a massive construction site. Ships from across the galaxy worked together to build new weapons, retrofit existing vessels, and create a coordinated defense network that spanned multiple star systems. The humans shared their advanced technologies freely, while other species contributed their own expertise. Luminary, crystal technology enhanced the power of human weapons. Synthetic processing power improved targeting systems. Saurian biotechnology created self-repairing hull materials. But perhaps most importantly, the diverse species learned to work together in ways they never had before. The threat of complete annihilation had done what centuries of diplomacy couldn't. It had united the galaxy under a common cause. The final message, as the combined fleet prepared for the battle that would determine the fate of all life in the galaxy. General Stone broadcast one final message to every inhabited world. Citizens of the galaxy, he said, his voice carrying across thousands of star systems. We face an enemy that wants to erase us from existence itself, but we are not helpless. We are not alone. Humanity, with all its flaws and strengths, has shown that even the impossible can be overcome through preparation, unity, and determination. The collective believes we are nothing more than matter to be consumed. They're wrong. We are life, consciousness, hope, and dreams made manifest. We are the galaxy's response to the darkness between realities, and we will not go quietly into that void. Today, we fight not just for our worlds, but for the right to exist at all. Today, we show the universe that life will always find a way to survive. Today, we prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to give up hope. As the transmission ended, the combined fleet began its journey toward the galactic edge, where the real battle for existence would begin. Behind them, Earth pulsed with energy, its surface bristling with impossible weapons, and its depths filled with the hopes of every species in the galaxy. The galaxy had gone silent for a reason. Now it was time to make some noise. Asterisk.